Hi friends, welcome to Home with Kelly P. In today's video, I am in my kitchen because I discovered when I was doing some Christmas baking that my baking cupboards, my baking supplies were in like 3 or 4 different spots in my kitchen, which was really not very functional. So I've decided to try and tackle my baking cupboard and revamp it a little bit and organize and purge a couple of the other cupboards that are just overflowing with things that I rarely use. So let's get to organizing these cupboards.
So the first thing I did before I started organizing my cabinets is I shopped my home for any items that I thought I could use to help me organize the spaces. And I found all the stuff that's on my counter. I had some bins, some extra baskets, an extra clear container, and a shelf. So this is what I'm going to probably use in my cabinets. I also had these hooks. So that's one tip for you. Shop your home first before you go out and spend a lot of money, because to do this type of project, I don't believe that you need to spend a lot of money, and it doesn't need to be Pinterest worthy. It just needs to function for you. So I found all this stuff in my house and I may or may not use it. Now here's a quick look at the actual baking cupboard that I have in my kitchen, and on the top shelf, although it looks fairly organized, there are a lot of things in there that are just shoved in, especially to the back. It's hard to see things back there. And on the bottom shelf is just a mishmash of a whole bunch of different things. So I really want to get to organizing that area as well.
The one thing I don't have in here that I really want in here are the things like my tins, my cookie sheets, and things like that, because they are over in another area in my kitchen. But I'd like to have all this organized with all my supplies that I need for baking. So this is in another part of my kitchen. You can see all my cookie sheets, muffin tins, all kinds of different things in here, my cooling racks. Like I even put my hand mixer over here during the season because it was just easier to grab things. So this is another cupboard I want to purge and clean out and move some stuff over to where all my baking supplies are.
And in another corner of my kitchen are some more items that I use for baking. So I really want to get in here and get those moved out and moved over to the baking cabinet so that everything that I need is right there in one cabinet. So the first thing I'm going to do is clear out the cabinet and give it a wipe down. But I wanted to say that here's another tip for you. I am reusing my containers. There is nothing wrong with them. No, they don't all match, but they function perfectly. But some of them have these old labels on them that I think I got at the dollar store, and they're coming off now. So I will be removing some of those. But here's a look at how much stuff came out of this cabinet. I mean, you couldn't even see to the back of the top shelf. Some of the stuff I didn't even realize was in there. So it's just a quick look at what was on the top and the bottom shelves. Honestly, I had an extension cord in there and a food waste scale. I don't even know where that came from. I think it's my daughter's, and she moved out 5 years ago. And this old coffee maker, I don't use it, and all this stuff. So it was a time to start organizing it. Look at this. I had 3 opened boxes of cornstarch because I kept buying them because I couldn't find the other ones. So this is a good thing that I am doing here to get into this cabinet and get cleaning it out. And here's another tip for you. If you have trouble removing labels from jars and you don't have any of that goo gone, which I never have, you can use essential oils on the label. You just sprinkle some on. Now, I went right at it here to show you, but you just let it soak in for a few minutes and then rub it with a damp cloth, and it takes off all of the label and all of the glue underneath. So yeah, try some essential oils if you don't have anything else to take your labels off. So here's a quick look at how my cabinet is doing. It's looking really, really good. I have things moved into place now. I have the shelf that is really coming in handy for some of the smaller stuff so I can see it. And I've organized according to, my sugars and all that different stuff. And I just used my label maker on the other mason jars here. I know this isn't Pinterest worthy, but it's functional. And it's costing me nothing to do. And I think that's what's important, is just make it functional and cleaned out and organized. Now on the bottom here, I'm putting some of the extra things that I have in this bin because the jars are full. So now I know I have extra things down there and I have lots of room to put my baking pans. So now it's time to tackle this cabinet where all my baking pans are. So again, I will just take everything out, give it a wipe down, and start to purge things that I know I am not going to need anymore. But I wanted to say that I'd love it if you come over to Instagram and say hi to me and just come hang out over there. I tend to share a few things more than just home decor related items. So I was liking the way the baking cupboard was coming together that I decided to tackle the cabinet that's right next to it. And this holds things like our cereals, our snacks, our oils, our extra condiments, things like that. And it is actually worse than the baking cabinet was. So I decided to tackle that and remove everything and condense things and get rid of, boxes of old stuff that was in there, and give it a wipe down and get it organized as well. I mean, again, like the cornstarch, I had 3 open bags of croutons. 2 of them had definitely gone stale. But do any of you have that same problem where you're just opening things because you can't find things? Do you have extra boxes around? Leave a comment below. I got to know that I'm not the only one with this problem. So these are things that I'm going to purge and get rid of, and I'm getting rid of some of these old shelf liners. They were just dirty and dusty, and it was just time to get rid of them. So still working away on these cabinets. And here's a look at the surprise that my husband bought me. He went out and he got me some of these Rev-A shelves so that we could install them in these cabinets, and they are pull-out shelves. And I cannot tell you how happy I was that he did this for me. We have been wanting to get some pull-out shelves because these cabinets are really deep. And he did some research and he went out and bought these for me. So that's why this video is late getting posted. So now I have to take everything out, but everything is so organized. I am so excited to put these in these cabinets. So this is definitely not a sponsored post by any means, but my husband just knew I wanted shelving in here, so he got these for me. But I just want to show you how easy they are to install. Basically, we just put them in, and there's screws front and back, and that's it. And the one thing we realized after we filmed, these shelves actually, when it looks like it's stiff to pull out, but they are the soft close shelves. So when you push them back in, they close automatically by themselves, and that was an added bonus. So now my husband's just going to install them. I just was seeing if I wanted, he didn't know if I wanted them both in my baking cabinet or one in the baking cabinet and one on the other side. So I was just seeing what I wanted to do, where I wanted to put them. So now he's just going to screw them in for me. So here's just a quick look at how easy they are to install. It's just 2 screws at the back and then 2 at the front. I just wanted to give you a quick look at how easy they are to install. And look how nice they are. It still fits everything perfectly. My shelf still fits. They slide in and out. I can get to things so easy. I cannot tell you how thrilled I am that he thought to go out and buy me these. We have, as I mentioned earlier, we have been thinking about having somebody come in and make all these shelves sliders, but the cost is just too much. So these can be a little pricey. He did wait for a sale, but it was well worth the wait. And we do have room in these cabinets if we wanted to put more shelves in there, but what a difference these have made. I simply love them. And there's my Lazy Susan that I made. I did a video back when I first started YouTube on this, and I'll leave a link to that. Be kind, because it was one of my first videos. It's not the greatest. And now here's a look at the finished product, and I cannot tell you how happy I am that I tackled this project. To have everything in one cupboard makes, cooking and baking so much easier. And these shelves are life-changing. See how it's a slow, a soft closed shelf? I just love them. And all my pans now are on the bottom shelf, so they're easily accessible when I want to do any baking. And it just makes so much more sense. So even though it's not perfect and not everything is matchy, I firmly believe that that doesn't need to happen, because things are going to get messed up anyways. You're going to, people in your house, or you're going to bring in groceries and just throw things in the cupboard. And then you're having to keep this picture perfect cupboard organized all the time. That's just not for me. This is functional and it works so well, even though it's just my husband and I. And here's the other cupboard that I tackled. It still has some of our cooking essentials in there that we need, and we love it. It's so less cluttered, but everything is at our fingertips that we need. So we are so happy that I tackled this, and it just makes life so much easier. And my shout out this week goes to my new friend here on YouTube, Colleen from the Decorating Fanatic. You will love her channel. She does amazing shopping hauls and loves to raid on, hunt, and find things, and she finds great things. So go check her out. You will love her decor as well. So I want to thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope that you enjoyed this organizing video. And until I talk to you in my next one, I hope you have a great week. Bye.
It's 2 a.m. and I can't fall asleep, 'cause I'm not tired. I'm thinking about the days we used to shine when we were young. I told you that we should start a